going on, everyone? Darkside Phil here, and welcome to Release Day Unboxing for September 25th, 2012. Kind of a unique week because there's only one retail release this week. Now, originally, Family Guy Return to the Multiverse was supposed to come out this week, but that game has gotten indefinitely delayed. Supposedly it's coming out sometime in November, but no one's really sure now. It has no definite release date. So we've only got one retail game, Dead or Alive 5, this week, which we're going to talk a little bit about. But I do want to remind everyone that both One Piece Warriors on the PlayStation Network and Marvel vs. Capcom Origins on both Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network are being released this week. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon on Tuesday, and unfortunately these games are not out yet. So I will be playing those. I wanted to actually play One Piece today, but the game's not out yet, so I can't play it. Once it's released, I'll play it, okay? So I just want to get that out in the open. So anyway, Dead or Alive 5, it's a fighting game that's a lot more casual than a lot of the other ones out there. Now, by no means am I saying that the game doesn't have a competitive audience, or that the game doesn't have a competitive scene, or isn't tournament worthy. That's not the case. In fact, when Dead or Alive 4 came out as an Xbox 360 launch title, or at least near launch, I think it was like right after launch it came out, there was a huge tournament scene for it for a while, and then it kind of died out. So this game is, I'm going to be honest, is simpler to play than a lot of other fighters out there. Case in point, Tekken Tag Tournament 2 that came out 2 weeks ago is a lot more complex and is a bigger game in the tournament scene. What Dead or Alive 5 focuses on is more about kind of silly fun while still maintaining a competitive aspect. In fact, the back of it says, this is fighting entertainment. And I kind of compare that to saying like, oh, this is sports entertainment, not pro wrestling, which is what the WWE does these days. They want to focus more on it's not a serious competitive thing, okay? So, this game has nice big bouncy boobies and racial stereotypes. Let's just get that out there. The game has big titty physics that a lot of people seem to enjoy, but it also has some fun things in it that are for the more respectable, fighter. And then of course it has Zack. So anyway, you might say to yourself, what is the cool bonus thing this time around? If you remember last time, Dead or Alive 4 was an Xbox 360 exclusive game and had the Spartan in it because of it. Well, this time around they're including Virtua Fighter characters. So you got Akira there on the cover. Supposedly there's going to be more Virtua Fighter characters released over time, which will be neat. It's cool to see these series fusing, especially because I really think that the Virtua Fighter franchise has kind of fallen off in the past half decade to decade. It's really not that much of a big draw anymore, even in the competitive scene. I mean, there was almost no competitive scene for the game in America. It's really only played in isolated parts of the world. So it's good to see that these characters are getting a breath of fresh life in a new series, okay? So you might be saying to yourself, what the hell, wait a minute, Phil, when you get your games you usually get the collector's edition, and this is not the collector's edition. And what happened? Well, let me explain. First of all, GameStop has the collector's edition rights this time, meaning they're the only store that got a collector's edition of Dead or Alive 5, okay? And I reserve my games far ahead of time. I don't wait till the last minute. I even learned my lesson on this because last year I waited a little bit too long on a couple games and I tried to reserve them, and they said, well, you can't get the collector's edition because you waited too long. This year I'm experiencing the complete flip side. Meaning I'm reserving games anywhere from 2 to 4 months ahead of time, and some of these games don't have collector's editions announced yet, and so when I reserve them, I don't reserve the collector's edition because it doesn't exist, and then I never get notified by GameStop, or, I don't know when these collector's editions are announced, and I miss out. And this is what happened with this game. I had reserved this game several months ago, and there was no collector's edition, and, usually I stay on top of things. For example, Assassin's Creed 3 had a collector's editions announced, and I went to GameStop and upgraded my reserve. But in this case, I didn't realize that the collector's edition had been announced and I hadn't reserved it. I had assumed that, yeah, I must have reserved it, And now I go to the store, and the store manager's there, and she says, sorry, Phil, it looks like you only reserved the regular edition. I said, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, there's only one person in our system who even reserved the collector's edition at this store, and that's the only copy we have because in this day and age, if you don't reserve the collector's edition, you can't really get it anymore because these are actually loss leaders for retail stores, meaning if they stock a collector's edition, chances are, if someone hasn't pre-ordered it, no one buys it, and it just sits on the shelf. In fact, my local GameStop has collector's editions of games like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I think they still have the Call of Duty that had the goggles. What was that? Modern Warfare 2. It had the night vision goggles or some shit. Like, they have 3 or 4 things, collector's edition, just sitting on a shelf unopened at a discounted price, and no one wants them because they're the older versions of the game. They just sit there at a massive loss in inventory cost to the store. So, since I didn't reserve it technically because it hadn't been announced yet, I couldn't get it. Now, if you want to see an unboxing of the collector's edition, head over to Panda Lee Games channel, my girlfriend, and she actually picked this up this morning and did get the collector's edition. It's got a cool art book, it's got CD, it's got posters, it's got all kinds of stuff. So go check that out, okay, over on her channel. But today, we're just going to be talking about standard edition of Dead or Alive 5 for the Xbox 360. Why the Xbox 360? Well, I don't know. I just feel like Dead or Alive 5 is an Xbox 360 style game because it was a launch title for the 360 when the 360 came out. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I just had an inkling to get it for that. Plus, let's face it, Xbox Live, you know that there's going to be a lot of people playing the game, especially near launch, and I want to have the most competition as possible when I jump online with this game, okay? So, Dead or Alive 5 has several different modes. It even says that you can have up to 4 players competitively, 2-on-2, but also online it's up to 16 players, so there might be a tournament mode, there might be a team battle mode. I guess we're going to have to find out and see what that is, the 16-player mode. But inside's very basic. I'm a fighter. Dead or Alive 5. I'm a fighter. Instruction, very basic. Explaining the game system, which is kind of rock, paper, scissors. High counter, low counter, explaining the modes, and then the credits, and that's it. I'm not going to show you the back of the instruction booklet because it actually has the online pass to play online. And then, yes, I did pick up the strategy guide. I always pick up the strategy guide for fighting games simply because it has all the moves listed, and it's a lot easier reference rather than me sitting in training mode and trying every single move for myself and trying to figure out, oh, what's the best move for this character? What's the best move for that character? This game will give me, or this guide will give me some recommendations and also probably some bread and butter combos and such for each character so that I can get off the ground running rather than kind of like putting my training wheels on. So it has strategies for every character. It actually has a really cool poster that I took out. It's all it is. I'm not going to unfold it because it's too huge to show on camera, but it's a calendar, 12-month calendar with a girl in a bikini from the game, which is kind of nice. So yeah, pretty basic. Not much to say here about the game besides I'm going to jump into it. Well, I was lucky. I caught it before it fell. I'm about to jump into it over on my fighting game channel, DSP Street Fighter. So if you want to see cool footage, go check that out. I'm going to be trying different characters, probably doing training mode with some characters, probably jumping into our story mode, and if the game has additional modes, I'll probably check those out. I don't know if I'll be doing online play today because I'll probably want to spruce up with a couple characters before I do that. But yeah, you're going to see, extensive coverage of this game over on DSP Street Fighter today, starting today, so check that out. Oh yeah, one other thing, because I did pre-order at GameStop, I got an unlock code for Bunny and Angel swimsuits. So be sure to head over to DSP Street Fighter to check out Zach in a Bunny Speedo, because that's coming up later today. Now, of course, it's probably not the male guys, probably just the females. But, yeah. So that's going to be starting on DSP Street Fighter today. I'm going to do it actually right now. I'm going to actually jump on as this unboxing video encodes and uploads. And then, whenever One Piece Warriors and Marvel vs. Capcom Origins are released on Xbox Live and PSN, I will be downloading them and playing them. I had planned on playing One Piece Warriors some today, but unfortunately I'm limited to when they release the damn game. So once it's out, I'll get it. If you kind of happen to see that it's out and you maybe want to tweet to me and say, hey Phil, it's out, you might want to download it now, please do. Because I'm going to be obviously playing this game and I'm going to want to know when it's out. I'm hoping that the game will come out before, say, 8 p.m. today. And if it does, I'll be able to play some of it. If not, I'm just going to have to wait till when the game releases, which I'm not sure when that's going to be. Same with Marvel vs. Capcom Origins, being that I am one of the best players in the world at that game. I'd love to tear into it, but I have to wait for it to come out first. So. Okay, so that's it for Release Day Unboxing. I hope you enjoyed it, found it informative, and I hope that you'll join me for gameplay of Dead or Alive 5 on DSP Street Fighter today, and then for One Piece Warriors on DSPGaming, and then also Marvel vs. Capcom Origins on DSP Street Fighter later this week. And one other thing, Panda Lee will be visiting me later this week, and we're going to be doing co-op gameplay of Dead or Alive 5, whether it's us playing against each other, whether it's us teaming up and going online. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's the first time I'm ever doing something like that, like doing a team-based thing going online with someone. So you should definitely check that out on DSP Street Fighter later this week, okay? So that's it. Thanks a lot. Hope you'll join me for the gameplay. See you later.